All right, what if you're asked to find these limits? Okay, the same thing is when you substitute 5 in for x into here, you're going to get the square root of 4, which is 2 minus 2, so 0 in the numerator and 0 in the denominators. And if you plug in t is equal to 9 into this equation, you're going to get 0 in the numerator and the square root of 9, which is 3 minus 3, which gives you 0 in the denominator. So what are you going to do for this? Well, here is where you use a conjugate because we have square root terms in here. So the square root term of this one is in the numerator. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply both numerator and denominator by the conjugate. And so what I'm going to multiply this by, the conjugate of this is you just change the sign. Keep the terms the same, but just change the sign. And then I'm going to multiply the denominator by that, so I haven't changed the value of anything. Okay. Now what I'm going to do next is these can become one fraction. So the denominator is going to be this. Do not multiply that through. Do not. Okay, leave that. The numerator is going to become this. Okay. Now I do want to FOIL the numerator, but I do not FOIL the denominator. Leave the denominator as it is. Okay, so now if I'm going to FOIL the numerator, I'm going to have this times this, and the square root times the square root of the same thing, they undo each other, and I'm just going to have whatever's inside, x minus 1. And then I'm going to have this times this, so square root of x minus 1 times 2. I'm going to put the 2 out the front. So I'm done with that, and now I look at this one, and I'm going to multiply it by this. So I'm going to have the negative 2 out the front. And then I'm going to have negative 2 times positive 2, which is minus 4. Okay. Okay, now I need to clean up the numerator. Here, these cancel out very nicely, and this was by design. So they're gone. And then I'm going to have x minus 1 minus 4. And negative 1 minus 4 is negative 5. So after I clean up the numerator, I get that. And so now this is why I told you don't multiply this through in the denominator. My x minus 5s will cancel. I can make this cancellation because x is approaching 5. It's not equal to 5. And so this limit will be 1 over square root of x minus 1 plus 2. And now if I substitute 5 in for x, I'm going to get that, and the square root of 4 is just 2, which will give me 1/4. And so the limit of this is equal to 1/4. Okay, what about this guy? Same thing, we get 0 over 0 when we substitute in t equals 9. So my square root term is in the denominator. So what I'm going to do to that one is I'm going to multiply both numerator and denominator by the conjugate of this one. So the conjugate is going to be square root of t plus 3. And of course, multiply the same thing in the numerator. So we haven't changed anything. Okay. So I want to multiply these through in the denominator. But in the numerator, I do not multiply them through. I'm just going to keep them like that. Okay. So the numerator will stay like this. All right, now I'm going to FOIL the denominator. So square root of t times square root of t is just t. And square root of t times 3 is going to be 3 times square root of t. I'm done with that. And then now I want to multiply this one through. Negative 3 times square root of t will be minus 3 times square root of t. And then negative 3 times 3 is negative 9. And then now we can see in the denominator, those cancel. So I'm going to have all over t minus 9. And now I have cancellation. T is approaching 9. It's not equal to 9, so I can do this cancellation. And so now I'm just going to plug in 9 into this, which is 3 plus 3, which will give me 6. And so my limit for this one is 6. Okay, and that ends the video.